Oh, look at how dark that is. No good, no good. Turn around. It's so loud. All right, let's see who pops on. I know this was so last minute. I just wanted to do it. Man, I hate these filter things. Should we do it in black? Oh yeah, go on. Da da da. Don't see me. What? There we go. Okay. We'll see if anybody comes on. Sunday night, I know for Eastern people, midnight, so it's probably too late for them. But for the Westerners, here's one, and maybe people living in Bali like me, Australia. It'd be a great time for you. Okay. Talking energy. This one is so important. One thing I hear so often, other than I don't have enough time, is energy. My energy is so low. I may not be in the, oh, there I am. Yeah, I am in the group. Okay. And so I wanted to touch on a few things on why this could be for you. There's many reasons, and I probably won't be able to cover them all. And I may even think of some after the video. But let's just go with some that I'm thinking of now, all right? There's a few things. So if somebody there's physical reasons, there's definitely physical reasons, and there's also definitely emotional and life reasons, like how you handle things. So let's start with some of the physical reasons why you don't have much energy. And that is, could be your adrenal glands. So women over 40, usually over 45, not many women go through this midlife, big hormonal change until around 45, but many do. I did before. During that time, your hormones, again, are fluctuating like crazy. So serotonin's a hormone, dopamine's a hormone, melatonin is, cortisol is, along with estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone that we're used to hearing, right? And hormones are funny because they all kind of affect the other, like dominoes, and same with your glands. So the hormones, your pituitary gland, get the hormones, your thyroid hormones, your adrenal glands, all of these things are so connected. And so in one area of your life, if one of your glands is not producing the hormones properly because it's either too tired, too exhausted, or not functioning properly, that can have an effect on another gland. Hello, Laura. That can have an effect on another gland. So know that when you have really low energy, there could be a lot of things involved, but maybe what you hear today in this video, you will go, oh my God, that sounds more like me. So thyroid is always something that will make, I only have half a thyroid. I had cancer in my other half of thyroid, so they took it out. So I only have half a thyroid, and I have not had to take thyroid medication, but I do notice that I go up and down. Sometimes I notice I'm like really exhausted and things like that, and so I take supplements. In Canada, I was able to take a lot more different great supplements to support my thyroid, as well as iron. So I'm also very low in iron. And I think during this phase, this midlife phase, if the woman is in that phase where she still has her period and you're bleeding a lot, that phase where it's like, whoosh, it's so bad, you have the really, really, really heavy bleeding, that depletes you a lot. So you need to most likely take extra iron. Now you can always get your iron levels tested easy enough at a doctor, right? Because there are just a few cases of people who cannot take more iron. They're actually high in iron, but those are usually men. So especially at a time when you are like, still have your period and you're really in that bad period phase where you're losing a lot of blood, get some extra iron. Iron that is liquid iron, doesn't cause constipation. There's certain iron tablets from your doctor, special iron tablets cause constipation. So you might want to go to a health food store and ask them, what's the best iron I can take that doesn't cause constipation? do that for sure. Then take that iron, you'll feel better. You can test your thyroid with a temperature, like a thermometer. Every morning before you even get out of bed, test your temperature either under your arm or in your mouth, and chart it every single day. Where was your temperature? So then you want to see if it's just all over the place, if it's pretty regular, or if it's below normal, like below the normal. I forget what the normal temperature is, but you can Google it easily enough. A typical thing for thyroid problems too is not only being tired, but being cold. So if you're somebody who wakes up with quite a low body temperature every single day, and you're also very tired, very possible you could have thyroid. I would suggest going to a naturopath or more of a natural doctor to get tested, because they have specific tests where they can test your thyroid on many levels. A regular doctor, God, you pretty much have to have thyroid disease or something before they test anything that's problematic. So seek out some sort of a naturopath or someone who does. We could test your like T3 levels, T4 levels, how they interact, things like that. Because if you don't, thyroid conditions can get very, very serious. So please go make sure that is okay, but get some proper testing done. So that's another. So iron and thyroid definitely can be two things that especially happen in midlife. For some reason in midlife, I'll tell you why. For some reason, we tend to have more thyroid problems in midlife. Now, if you're also, remember when you were pregnant, I had almost diabetes when I was pregnant. Well, right? So note that when you have these big hormone fluctuations within your body, they can cause certain problems. So thyroid is a big one for midlife. There's so many women in midlife who are undiagnosed with any type of thyroid problems because the doctors don't test them well enough. So you can go on Google too, and just search out thyroid issue, like symptoms of thyroid issues. Then still go get checked. But there's also, I'm going to put her name in here, her site. It's called Hormones. There's the comments. Hormones Balance. God, I'm going to Google her. She has so much information. She was someone who was diagnosed with Hashimoto's disease, which is a thyroid disease. And so she has so much great information for people who have specific like hormone illnesses or conditions. She has tons of information on that, and that's what's so great about it. She also has her own line of supplements. Now, of course, you need to get properly diagnosed, but this may help to bring some awareness to you of like, what am I going through? What, and so take a look at her and her pages and her information. And note though, that her recipes, it just shows us recipes, don't always go for women in midlife. So you have that, eh, Veronica? Wow. So like her recipes from Hormones Balance, some of her recipes may not be quite right for you in midlife, but that's okay, right? Like it's so much more important to start working on keeping healthier first before you go, I just need to lose this weight. So I always say health first. The other condition that could be is adrenal fatigue, which now the percentage of women in midlife with adrenal fatigue would be very, very, very high. And the reason that is because your ovaries are producing less estrogen, less hormones, right? So naturally, our adrenal glands are supposed to take over the production of the hormones when our ovaries start to decrease the production. So as in a really healthy women in midlife, like we're talking hundreds of years ago, by this time in her life, she was slowing down, her kids were grown, they were out of the house. So it was really her time to take care of herself. She didn't have as much stress in her life. Nowadays, women in midlife are busier than ever, taking care of their kids who may still be at home around their 20s, right? Taking care of their parents, maybe still working full time, taking care of their house, taking care of their yard, doing the appointments, doing the family functions. So all of a sudden, women in midlife are far more stressed. And your adrenal glands produce cortisol and adrenaline. Those are your stress hormones. Now, they are good for you when you are in really scary situations that require you to have a burst of energy. But when you're continually in that state of energy production, way too much energy production, your body pretty much shuts down all the other functions. So if you think of when you're going through childbirth, I remember for me, I was like, I don't want to poop my pants when I'm going through childbirth. And they're like, very rare, every system shuts down in your body and it's all focused on childbirth, right? So when you're in a stressful situation, it's kind of the same. Your hormone production is blunted. So basically, when you're high stress all the time, your glands, that would take energy. So they kind of slow down the production of hormones, okay? Your immune system is dropped. So it, in a way, it's like everything in your body is going for that fight or flight so that you can run and have energy. So a lot of other systems like digestion and all that take up energy are decreased. They're like blunted, they're pushed down. So remember, this is how serious it is, you guys. Like, even think of your heart health, your lung health, your digestive system. All of those things are compromised every time you keep yourself in a high stress situation. Your immune system, which is one of the biggest things, right? So your adrenal glands, which produce these hormones, then are working overtime. They're working nonstop, 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 nonstop. So now when they're called on to do extra duty to produce some hormones, they're like, excuse me, but I have a lot of work I'm already doing. I cannot do anything else, right? So then all of a sudden you have, who's going to produce the hormones? Who's going to produce the hormones that we need? So because your body wants to balance itself, fat in your midsection produces the hormones, can produce estrogen. So your body's like, pack on the fat, pack on the fat, pack on the fat. Because that's what's going to help to get the level off the hormones, help to balance you. And then, of course, at that time, when you're in high stress, your body will not release weight. Your body will not let go of weight when you are under consistent stress. Now, this consistent stress may feel normal to you, but it is not normal for your body. So then you just keep packing on the weight and you cannot lose it. And then your immune system starts to go and you start feeling like, of course, just imagine when your adrenal glands are working too hard, they can kind of start to slow down and give up. They get tired. And so you get tired. You get extremely tired. They lower the function of the, hello, wake up, energy. So they're not producing those hormones that give you energy really anymore. So basically what happens is you get extremely tired. So then you go to eat the foods like chocolate and cakes and breads and anything that's a simple sugar, because you're like, this will give me an energy lift, and coffee. So those things, then you start craving those things to give you an energy burst. So you absolutely get into this frenzy craving and wanting these foods. But what those foods do is give you a crash. They may give you a little bit of energy at first, but then they crash you. And so then your crash is even lower than before. So therefore you're bottomed out in energy. You're completely tired and exhausted. You're dragging yourself to work. You may have more energy at night, but none in the morning, right? And during the day, you're just like, oh my God, I can't keep my eyes open. And when coffee does not even keep you awake, you're definitely in adrenal fatigue, okay? So that is something also you need to go to a special doctor to get, a naturopath or a homeopath or functional medicine doctor to get tested. Do not go to a regular doctor. You're not even going to get probably a test. So really note that. And when you're in that phase, that can cause depression. It can cause you to feel really low and really kind of depressed. And then remember, of course, stress and stuff really greatly affects your digestive system. So then you can end up, and when someone's continuously constipated, it actually can lead to depression too, feeling depressed and very, very low energy. Because when your digestive system isn't flowing properly, it tires you out. You feel really lethargic. Not only that, you feel heavy, bloated, and terrible. I used to suffer from it for years, right? And more magnesium. I'm going to say, get some good magnesium and take lots of magnesium every day. And that will help with that for those. But still, you also need good fibers, celery, things like that. Lots of plant fibers, as well as drinking lots and lots and lots of water, good water, liquids, okay, lots and lots, and lemon water in the morning really helps. So we talked about the energy, thyroid, adrenal glands. What was the other one? Yeah, that's right. I think that's it so far. Thyroid and adrenal glands, how they can directly affect the energy that you're feeling, and that how you need to go get tested by, let's say, a special doctor, right? Naturopath or something. Can you just go take supplements? Well, because you don't know exactly what you need. So it's not a great idea to just say, I'm going to go just buy some adrenal gland supplements at the store. Which, yes, they can help you. And same with that link. She has her own supplement line, Hormones Balance. She has supplements for that. So that will give you more support. Eat better. You must eat foods that give you energy instead of foods that deplete your energy, right? And all my programs show you that. Plus, it's the superfoods, it's the super powders, it's those things that are high nutrient dense, high alkaline, full of chlorophyll, full of minerals, trace minerals, right? All of those, extremely. Yeah, don't tell, your doctor's not gonna know. He can't. He's not trained in hormones. Yeah. Yeah, Veronica, totally. That's exactly what happens. So regular doctors know, though, it's not really their fault. The thing that bothers me about a doctor is they should tell you, I'm sorry, I'm not trained in that area. You should go see somebody who's trained more in that area. And they don't say that. They do not learn hormones. Well, I dated a doctor and I know a doctor, so they told me. They are not trained in it at all. So they would have to specialize. So just like a heart doctor specializes in the heart, a hormone doctor would have to specialize. So a regular doctor is not specialized at all in nutrition or hormones or any women-related things at all. Okay? You need to go see someone who is. Now, one thing that's good is naturopaths. Those guys learn everything, most of them. So it's, I mean, not all are perfect, right? But go to that Hormones Balance page too that I posted in the comments. She is amazing with information. And seek out a naturopath or someone that, compounding pharmacists too sometimes will have good recommendations for people who deal with natural hormones and hormone balancing. Compounding pharmacist is where you get bioidentical hormones made. But they may be a good reference in your area to find, say, can you tell me, is there a natural path or doctor who kind of knows about women's hormones? Then see that. Always seek help from somebody who specializes or who knows that area of health. Your regular doctor does not. It's not their fault. They were not taught. Okay. So, yes, Veronica, it is, so you think you have adrenal fatigue, or is it thyroid? And adrenals, when your adrenals get burnt out and exhausted, they will affect your thyroid. Your thyroid will then become very tired and sluggish. So what you do for people who are wondering, well, how do I start? You must start with decreasing your stress. You have to. Whether that means you have to change your life, you change your life, right? Because this is really, really, really serious. So that means getting more sleep, getting more rest, saying no to things. So if you need to work your job, right? Like if you need to go in 5 days a week in your job, you do that. But I tell you, on your off time, you are resting and you are supplementing and you are eating really good and clean, and you are doing things like yoga, and you are doing things like deep breathing, and you are doing things like go to a yin yoga class. I think that's the relaxing one. I should know I'm a yoga instructor. Good God. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the Hashimoto's, I totally get it. I don't know how to spell it either. Yeah, Veronica, definitely check out Hormones Balance that I posted in the links, that page, because she had Hashimoto's. She has also videos on YouTube about hormones, okay? And yeah, she can definitely help with that. As for if you need help with eating, mindset and all of that, and guidance, that's what I do. So I help women through this midlife phase who are having hormonal issues. I have the programs for them. She doesn't, right? Like she just has information, which is great. She has so much good information. But to be part of a group, this is what I do. So I take women through the phases of eating really good and clean for this phase of life, which also many of what she does, I do with the food. It's almost exactly alike, except she has more meat where I don't, but women can have meat, right? And she may do a little more starch than I would, but yams, are totally great for you. So anyways, I do the programs that help the women go through this, and she has the great information. So I definitely help women through the emotional issues of ups and that they're dealing with during this phase of life, of the symptoms, and then eating clean to support your hormones. The way of eating and learning what works for you in a way of eating to support your hormones and your your whole balance of insulin levels and your balance of hormones. So that's what I do in my programs. We work on the mindset, so you need to do the stress reduction, what I work with. We work on the mindset as in being kind to yourself, learning to, so if you tend to self-sabotage, if you tend to emotionally eat, if you tend to be on again, off again, and give up, those are the things I work on within my programs always. You got the food, plus you have that part of it. And the stress reduction, showing you ways really and getting clear on that. So I kind of combine it all because I know, so information is great, so you can kind of figure out, oh, well, this is what might be happening with me. But then you got to know, well, what do I do, right, Veronica? Like, how can I change this? And that's what I help with. I always have a hard time describing what I do, but that's basically what I do. I take your body, mind, and spirit. We see it as a whole because that is health. And we work you through the program so that you are helping to fully balance yourself, not just one area, right? You can take supplements, but if you're not decreasing your stress and you're not working on your food, you're not going to get the same results, right? At all, right? Oh, you can do my programs online. They're all online. That seems like a really cool place. San Antonio. But yeah, my programs are all online, Veronica, so you can live anywhere in the world. And I have a new 21-day program. It's called Balance, Alignment, and Flow. And that is starting pre-work this next week. And we are going to be doing a hormone reset in it. So we're going to be doing each 3 days you give up a certain food that deals with a certain. So you might want to look at this one for sure, Veronica, that deals with a certain hormone. And so like one day you give up, 3 days you give up sugar, 3 days you give up meat, 3 days you give up fruit, 3 days, things like that. And it helps to reset your hormones and get yourself back into better balance. You still eat really good healthy food. It's not, you're not eating good food. I give you all the recipes, you have that to follow. And then we work on talking about this whole thing like I was talking about with the energy. There are so many reasons why you don't have the energy. It's also, are you happy? Are you feeling depressed? Are you feeling anxious? Those things steal away your energy, right? Like feeling a bit sad, feeling a bit down. Why are you? Let's get to, it's not like psychoanalysis. It's more like, yeah, fruit. Yeah, I would not eat fruit right now for you, Veronica. Cut out the fruit, okay? Especially on its own. Maybe a tiny little bit of fruit in your smoothie, and you will see that with hormones balance. That girl too, I don't think she uses fruit at all. Fruit is just a pure sugar in midlife, just a pure sugar. Comes in, goes to fat, comes in, goes to fat, spikes your blood sugar level. But when you balance it in a certain way, like with a couple of my recipes, it's balanced more with fats, proteins. These are all vegans. They're all plant, I should say. Essential fatty acids. So when you balance your fruit more with other things and high fiber, then it doesn't spike your blood sugar levels. But, you know, thyroid is also greatly affected by these ups and downs of crazy insulin levels too, which is caused by eating the wrong foods for you during this phase of life. Because during this phase of life, your body metabolizes food differently. If you could eat those things in your 20s and 30s, you probably can't eat them now. And it's not that they're not healthy, it's that your body is acting differently right now. So for a while, you need to kind of clean those out, bring in the foods that help it to function better at this phase of life, give it the nutrients it really, truly needs. And then everything begins to go, that's what I need, right? That's how you bring things, as well as decreasing the stress by little simple things you can do during the day, as well as how you think, your thoughts, your feelings, being able to sit in, with more peace, not getting reacting and getting those stress responses going. So really working on all that too. Yeah, fruit, I'm afraid, is not your friend, especially dried fruit. That's for darn sure. Oatmeal's not your friend now either. So this is great. So we've talked about adrenal glands, thyroid, stress. Stress, you won't lose weight. Stress is very unhealthy for you. It's probably one of the most unhealthy things for you ever, as well as sugar. And then we're talking about emotions. So you will feel really tired if you feel stuck in life, if you feel helpless, if you feel like you're in a situation where you have no hope, you don't know what to do. You go to a job you don't like and you sit there all day at your computer, staring at your computer, and you're not happy. That will drain your energy. If you're not doing something creative that you want to do. So let's say someone's like, oh, I just wish I had time to do, but they keep denying themselves that will drain your energy. Okay? So what are you saying no to yourself about? What are you denying yourself? What are you not allowing yourself to do? What are you saying you're too busy to do? What are you saying you're too old to do? What are you saying about the job you do? There's no way I can leave. I have to work another 10, 15 years. I mean, that alone, if you're in a job that sucks your energy and thinking you have to stay another 10 or 15 years, that will deplete your life force, your energy, your spirit, your soul. It'll suck it right out of you, right? And then you just feel so like helpless and hopeless. Then you eat, then you eat, then you eat, then you eat. It's those whole cycle. You just keep yourself in a cycle. And through my In Balance, Alignment, and Flow, my new program, that's what we're also going to touch on. It's huge. I think it makes, because when you do start to feel better, when you do start to find the right direction in life, when you do start saying yes to yourself, you feel so much better, so much more empowered, so much happier. You naturally start to eat better. You don't tend to sabotage yourself as much. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot involved, right? And I know because I lived it all. I lived it all. I have lived it, and I've studied a lot about this because I'm somebody who, if something happens to me, if I'm feeling away, I gotta know why. I gotta look for the reason, and I gotta look for a solution. So I'm somebody who's always gone for, I need to learn what's happening, and I need to find a solution. So that has, all these years, has led me to, and of course lately, I worked with all ages before, and I was a raw food chef, personal trainer, yoga instructor. And then I started getting more into the midlife phase because I was going through it and I didn't know what was going on and I didn't know all these things about my body. So I studied and I learned everything to help myself and to help clients, because this is so important. There's so few people that actually do this. Like that lady who does Hormones Balance website gives you all the fantastic information, but then who helps guide women through it in a group or one-on-one, right? To help them get through this phase, because there's so much more. There's emotional things to it, physical symptoms, psychological symptoms. It's all over the place, right? This phase of life, when you're dealing with hormones are the chemicals of your body. Hormones control so much. Your feelings, your thoughts, how you sleep, how you digest food, how your energy level is, your weight, your digestion, your heart, all of that, right? All of that. So when, during this phase of life, you feel all these weird things going on, but you ignore them and you think there's nothing you can do, what happens is it only gets worse, your body, because your body begins to break down because you're not actually learning what to feed your body at this phase of life. So when you're not feeding your glands what they need to produce the proper hormones, of course they're not going to function properly. Then your symptoms are worse, of course, because they can't possibly do their work, right? They can't possibly do their work. They're burnt out. So just like we would be, right? And it's like, if your boss isn't paying you, if he says, can you work 2 weeks for free? I don't have money to pay you right now. That would deplete you. That would make you feel, right? That's what we do to our body. It's like, okay, body, and thyroid and adrenal glands and whatever, right? We just talk our body. Do all this for me, but I'm not going to pay you. I'm not going to give you what you need. You're just going to have to coast for a while, right? No, our body doesn't work that way. We cannot negotiate with it. So that's kind of what happens. And in midlife, it's like exaggerated. It's like you must start taking care of yourself, because if you don't, it's just downhill. Because when we were in our 20s and 30s, it was like you could coast. You could get away with anything. I could eat anything, you guys. I could freaking eat anything. I mean, I worked out really good. I could eat, I smoked, I drank an enormous amount. I partied like crazy. I was great. I was in great shape. I looked fantastic. And then the midlife phase happened and it was like, what the hell just happened? I'm gaining weight. I'm over emotional. I can't stop crying. I'm cranky. I'm feeling depressed. I'm feeling like something's wrong. I don't like my life anymore. What's going on? My body's changing. Oh my God, right? And because it's like we're going through adolescence again. We are going through this major change in hormones. And if we're not taking that good care of ourselves, if we're not at that time eating to support our hormones, if we're not decreasing our stress, like if we don't have a Zen life, then it's like shit hits the fan. It's all of a sudden our body goes, well, sorry, we got a lot more work to do now, and this is just too much. You need to bring on extra forces. And so if you don't bring on those extra forces, which is the healthy food, the rest, the recovery, right? Then your body just goes, screw it. I'm going to do as little as possible. I'm going to do whatever I can do, man. And that means your health goes downhill. I mean, how many people do we know have cancers and breast cancer and illnesses now? When you get to midlife, it's like, oh my God, what's happening? But it's because, for years people have just put crap in their mouth and not paid attention to. And then this whole thing about working 60 hours a week or working 40 hours or working overtime and needing to do this and needing to that. I'm like, what the hell? So much is expected for women now that, it's just too much. It's too much. Okay, well, I hope I gave you a bit of aha moments. There is so much you can do when you have that low energy. First of all, it's kind of figuring out, so you don't have to figure out what you have, first of all. The things you got to do are start decreasing your stress, start having more time for you, start relaxing more. Sleep will help you recover. If you're having a hard time sleep, go to a health food store, talk to them. What can I take natural that will help me sleep? Just keep doing it. More magnesium. Make sure you got vitamin D. Make sure you got iron to support you. Make sure maybe B12 if you're vegan or you don't eat a lot of meat. Good fats, maybe take a good oil supplement, right? And also, of course, I have my new program starting 21 days, balance, alignment, and flow. We're going to do a hormone reset. It's pretty easy, guys. It's not hard. Within those 21 days, plus we're going to work on fully embodying, bringing in this lifestyle where you are guided, showing, okay, we're going to find what works for you, how to kind of get yourself back into better balance, mind, body, spirit, right? Moving your body according to what's up with you right now. Extreme exercise is not good to do when you're stressed. Just 30 minutes on the treadmill walking's not, you're not even going to lose a pound that way, right? So learning about what will work for me, that's what we're going to cover, as well as bringing in some pretty easy to do stress relaxation things that you can do throughout the day. Learning how to start your day more calm and centered so that it continues. Just little practices like this, starting to incorporate into your life, but in a way that's more whole, not just focusing on one thing and then the other areas of your life being left totally out of balance. We're going to bring things more into balance and alignment so that you're dealing with your whole person, because that's when it works. All right. I have the page kind of done, so I'm going to drop it in the comments, or for sure in this group, Women Creating Healthy Lives, for the 21-day program. It's usually this one for women who have done my programs before, but if you jump in and you haven't, I will give you a special package for you with some background information on getting started with the food. All right, so that's a bonus. That's a pretty big bonus, because it is, it's another package that I usually sell. So that's what you will get if you haven't come into my programs before, and then you'll have that, and then you will jump in with our regular. And don't worry, there's no falling behind. There's nothing like that. You're not going to feel like, oh, it's just working at your pace. What do you need to work on right now? Let's start getting this going so you can begin to feel so much better, because it's possible. All right. Message me on Facebook if you want anything. I do my one-on-one right now, you guys. Oh my God, $65 for 1 hour with me. Wow, we could cover so much. I can't even tell you. So if you want one of those, message me on Facebook. That price is ending Sunday night at midnight, and we can book the time for whenever. It doesn't matter. So my one-on-one sessions are on sale right now. You'll get 1 hour for $65. And then my new program's coming, and it's $127 pre-sale. Then it's going to $167. All right. See you guys. Bye-bye.